Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Nightmares
in the Dice Room.
I'm going to be your host, Johnny.
And I'm Romy.
And we hope you're going to enjoy this one, guys. This is the second part of our Mansions and Madness series, where now we're going to go over a setup. Remember, if you didn't see the video before this one, go back and check that out for the components, where we explain everything that's usually included with the base game, and then also all the expansions that we've purchased so far.
And you can get that link in the description below.
Yep. So we'll put that that link down there, where you can go check out the first video. And as we continue to get better, we'll probably link it at the end of the video, where we can show previous stuff as we get better at this YouTube thing. So with that, we're going to get started with the setup. For this, we've chosen the scenario Cycle of Eternity, which again, guys, you are going to need an iPad, a phone, either Android or iOS. It doesn't matter. You can have a Samsung tablet or any tablet, Android tablet for that matter, as well as an iPad or something else. So I'm using an iPad here that I have. And that way, we usually tend to like the tablets better because they're bigger.
Yes, so you can really get a good view of everything that it shows.
Yeah, because it's played a lot through the app with this one, which is kind of cool. It mixes technology and, old school board game mechanics.
So just make sure as well to download the app first, and then select which expansions you have of the game, as we mentioned in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Before you can get started and choose the scenario you want to do.
So we'll start with that. With the scenario on here like this, you will have this going, and you will select your scenario, and then it says down here, select investigators. So I'm going to click on that, and it'll go to the next screen here. Well, we'll go through, you can slide through and see all the investigators that we have because we've purchased the expansions. The ones that you own are the only ones that will show up in here. That's why, like Romy was saying, you have to select in the beginning, in the setup of the app, which expansions you actually own, because then it'll list those investigators in here. If you don't own it, it won't list the investigator. So there's some investigators that are missing from ours because we don't own those expansions. So I know it's going to be hard to see in here, guys. We're going to have a screenshot up on the video, but we have selected both Lily and Jim Culver. Lily is the character I am playing. She's one of my favorite characters across the whole expansion because I just like her. She's a hand-to-hand combat martial artist, and I like that type of play with all different types of games, so she fit right into my wheelhouse.
And I'm playing with Jim Culver. He's a musician, and I like him because he always gets the golden trumpet asset that goes with him, and he can help control the horror of the investigators. So he can really improve sanity all around. And I also like that his other skills are quite high up as well, like mostly 3s and 4s, as you can see on his card. So that's why I like to play with him.
Yep, and the same thing with Lily is all of her skills are 3s and 4s. She's got 7 health, 7 sanity to use, and then like I said, she's a martial artist, so she likes to fight unarmed. And if you do fight unarmed, you actually end up dealing more damage if you do connect because you are fighting unarmed. So it's actually, that's one of the things I like about her is I don't have to have a weapon in order to do decent damage to the enemy. So with that, we'll go to the next part, which is going to be the game over to where we get our starting items. And on this screen, guys, again, we're going to have it up for you so it's a little easier to see. This screen here is completely random. Every single time you come back and play this scenario, it will change what items you get, except for the items you get with your character. Like Romy was saying, she gets I think it's the golden trumpet. Yeah, down here in this corner right here, it's the golden trumpet that he gets every single time. So that one will be included, but all the rest of them will be random that gets selected in here. So it kind of helps change up the scenario and how you play it. So it is replayable each time. So now we have to pick out these assets. So I will go ahead and start getting our items here.
And it says each investigator begins with 2 clues, so we each get 2 clues.
And if you want, you could do, I think these are 2 spells, the Azure Flame and
Lore
Banishment.
is 4, which is really good.
So if you
I
want to
think
grab out the
those would be
spells.
good. Yeah.
So I got to find the King James Bible, which again, I have alphabetized my cards, so it should be easier to find. So there's the King James Bible. We got Life Preserver there, Matches there. And then she's finding the 2 spells, Azure Flame and Banishment, as Romy finds that. And then we've got our unique assets, which are, like we said in the components video, it's got this golden back with a key lock on it. We need the golden trumpet, which again, these are alphabetized, so it's easier to find because you're never randomly drawing from these. You're always being told what to get. So there's the golden trumpet, which we know is going to go to Jim. So,
And it is better to give the spells to the person with the highest lore, as we've mentioned before, because they have a better chance of having the spell be successful.
Yep. So now we've got these other 3 assets here that we can divide up amongst each other. I don't think. Well, your Azure Flame acts as a light source, but also as like a weapon.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, I could take this Life Preserver, which is I may ignore water and it's a heavy weapon if I do want to use a weapon.
Yeah, it's good just to have a weapon in case you need it.
And then the King James Bible is got an action on it, which will be you or another investigator within range may discard 1 face down horror.
So I think you can keep that since my trumpet already helps with the horror.
Okay.
So then you can also
Yep, that sounds
do
good.
your horror.
And then matches, you strike one of the tiny delicate sticks and it flares to life. Flip this card. So there's a back action on it. I'm not going to read it because you're not supposed to until you actually have to do that. So
I think you can keep that one as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep all 3.
Yeah, I've got 3 and you've got 3, so it's good.
Okay, so we'll do that. So now that starts with our starting items, guys, that we've now divvied up. And again, you just got to talk amongst your players. Again, it's just the 2 of us, but if there were more players involved, there would also be more items possibly, so that you can divvy up across the table. And you guys just talk amongst yourselves to try and figure out how best to divide that amongst the group.
And also, it's not always going to be the same amount of items for each player.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody will just have 1 item where the others have 2 or 3 items. It's you working together as a team, deciding which items is going to work best for you to be successful as a team.
Yes, exactly. All right, so now on the bottom right, we're going to go to continue setup again. Here it gives you some nice Lovecraft quotes as you're waiting for the game to load, which is always cool to read. We always read those out, which is this one. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. So that's H.P. Lovecraft, The Nameless City. So, and then once it's ready, you will see a begin scenario at the bottom of the screen.
You slump into your office chair after another long day of interviews. You've been investigating the disappearances surrounding a wealthy neighborhood for 2 weeks, but you have nothing to show for it. The telephone rings. You answer and hear the panicked voice of an older man.
Yes. Is this the investigator who visited the Vanderbilt estate?
You flip through the files on your desk. William Vanderbilt, a wealthy bachelor, mother recently deceased. He has refused to meet with you, but you were able to speak to several members of his serving staff.
This is Eugene, Mr. Vanderbilt's butler. I didn't know who else to call. The police think I'm crazy. Unnatural things have started happening here. I'm worried for my master. I think he's in danger. Please, help.
hang up the phone, throw on your coat, and leave for the Vanderbilt estate.
And that's always the cool part of this, is it gives you a story and it reads it for you. So if you don't have someone in your group that can like read stuff like I usually do for us, that's something I enjoy doing. And of course I also DM in D&D, so that's why I kind of like usually read stuff like this. It actually is your game master. The tablet is your game master. It leads you through, it talks to you, it tells you the story, it does everything for you, which is really kind of cool about this game. So after it's done, you get a continue button down at the bottom. And so now as we continue with the setup, guys, on this screen, which again we'll put up on the screen for you, it says, "You had forgotten that Vanderbilt's estate, referred to as lavish yacht. Several cars and carriages are parked along the drive, leading to where the vessel is docked. However, the butler contacted you is nowhere to be seen. Fearing something has happened, you board the ship. Place the prow, ship deck 1, and ship deck 2 tiles as indicated." So this is how we finish doing the setup, and this is where we're going to go to next at this point. So now, remember guys, on here it will tell you, again, this will all be on the screen for you when you're seeing it, but the prow with a train icon on it, and that's where we're going to look for on here in the name will be an icon next to the name, and so you got to find that particular tile which has a train on it, and then you're looking for it to say prow. So this one is a bean pod, and it is a big square one that we need.
Yeah, I think it might be this one.
Yep, prow. So here's our first tile that we're going to be using, is that one. So it's going to go there. And then now we need the ship deck 1 and ship deck 2, which are going to be smaller ones, not the big square ones anymore. And they're going to be the train again.
Yeah, these ones are 3, 4, and 5, so we need...
Well, we need that main one. So this is, okay.
Yeah, that's not the right numbers.
I think this was the train. Yeah, here's the train.
Okay, you got it?
Yep. Ship deck 2. So there's that one. And ship deck 1. There we go. So here's going to be your ship deck 1 tile, what it's going to look like. And then that's going to go, as Romy was putting it already, over here. You kind of line them up to where the graphics on the cards match. And our ship deck 2 will look like that. And then we'll put this one up here. So you're matching it to what it shows on the screen on the tablet to the board that you're playing on here. And then we'll hit the continue button. And it tells us in this next part, you step onto the polished wood of the ship's deck. A strange stillness hangs in the air, and the vessel tosses uneasily beneath your feet. Place your investigator figures as indicated. So now it tells us where we're going to start with our investigators, which Romy is finding our miniatures now. So she's going to find the one with the trumpet. There he is.
There we go.
And she already found Lily for me. So we start here on the main. Now it's going to start telling us where to place clues to start with. So in the middle of the ship, or in the middle of the prow, sits a table with a small pile of papers. Place a search token as indicated.
And the search token, as we mentioned before, is the little question mark, yellow question mark token.
Okay, and then we hit continue. Crates and other shipping containers are stacked on the deck. Place a search token as indicated. So right here near us, we're going to hit continue. A large mural of nighttime landscape looms over the prow. Place a search token as indicated. So as you can see, it's filling out the board for us, which is matching what's on the tablet. Next is the silence is broken by the muffled shouts and sounds of crashing pots and pans coming from the door on your right. Place an Explore token as indicated.
And the Explore token, as we mentioned before, is like a red lantern type of token.
The ship's deck stretches in both directions. Place sight tokens as indicated. Sight tokens may be revealed by investigators in the correct tile without spending an action. So as we mentioned in the components video with the eye icon on it, this does not require one of your actions because you only get 2 actions. So this doesn't require one to reveal, which is really nice. So we need one down here and one up there. And now it's investigator phase. And that is the setup of this scenario. So as you can see here, I will flip it around and try to get this for you guys. But again, I'll also have it up on the screen. This is what it looks like, which matches what we've put on the board here to set up our board game part of it. So it's very much an interactive tablet along with the board, and you can move all around on the tablet to see the different parts to begin your gameplay.
Because it can get quite big, the map, eventually. Yes. So it's nice that you can move around to whichever part of the map you want to be on.
Yeah, and usually we'll start with this in the middle and we end up having to shift it around depending on whichever way the game expands because we don't know.
Yeah.
And so with this one, it looks like we're going to be building out a whole yacht, which is going to be kind of cool by the end of the game that we play.
Exactly. So yeah, we're looking forward to playing this. So definitely join us in our next video where we do the playthrough of this scenario and this investigation.
Yep. So we hope you guys liked this one. And if you did, hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more of our content, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for when we release new episodes, which are going to be every Friday at noon. So we hope that you guys will come along with us on our journey into
Nightmares
in the Dice Realm. So thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks all.